What is going on, y'all? Psych Perspectives, GeoFucks here. And actually this might be just going on the GeoFucks page. But anyways, I wanted to discuss my process of researching and potentially scheduling my hysterectomy. So, if you didn't know, now you know. I am a transgender, transmasculine, trans man. Okay? My pronouns are he, him, his. And yeah. So with that being said, I currently have an IUD. Okay? It is a contraceptive. It is a hormonal IUD with Liletta is the brand maker of the IUD. I had that inserted July 21st, 2020, nearly 2 years ago. The IUD lasts anywhere between 3 to 6 years. It can last up to 6 years, and in some cases it can go slightly over 6 years. It really just depends on the individual, but on average, the Liletta hormonal IUD, birth control, contraceptive, it lasts 3 to 6 years. So I'm going on in year 2 of having it. And I still practice safe sex. I still use condoms, lube, get tested every 3 months, every quarter. So at least 4 times a year, I'm getting a full STD, full panel test. Okay. Get the swab, oral swab, vaginal swab, anal swab, what have you. 4 times a year at the bare minimum, every 3 months. I'm also taking PrEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis, PrEP, Truvada, which is a daily pill that you can take to help prevent you from contracting HIV. So, safe sex, condoms, IUD, PrEP, getting tested, what have you. So, with everything going on politically, when we are looking at abortion rights, body autonomy, transgender healthcare, gender-affirming care, transgender rights, etc., abortion rights, etc., federally and statewide, there's a lot going on. You know, Roe versus Wade may potentially be getting overturned. Individual states are doing their own legislation around abortion rights. You have states banning abortion. You have states making it difficult for people to get gender-affirming care, health care. They don't even want trans people going to the bathroom, having jobs. They want to force you to out yourself to everybody. They're even trying to force people to detransition in some of these bills that they're trying to pass. There's a lot of anti-transgendered, anti-body autonomy, anti-abortion laws being passed in individual states. And then federally, as of right now, the U.S. Supreme Court may be overturning Roe versus Wade. So there's a lot going on. So for me, as a person of color, as a black person, as a person of color, working class person, a transgendered person, LGBTQ+, you know, I'm gay, I'm queer, I'm trans, I'm black, I'm here. So with all this being said, I took it upon myself to investigate, research, and potentially look into scheduling my hysterectomy. Now, I have insurance through my employer. It is PPO insurance. Okay, it is a high deductible insurance. I have a health savings account because it's a high deductible insurance plan. I'm about $4.90 away from hitting my in-network deductible of $2,000. With that being said, my insurance is going to cover my hysterectomy completely because I hit the deductible. I also pay for my own short-term disability. I get paid bi-weekly, so I get paid twice a month, every 2 weeks. And every paycheck, I pay a portion for me to have short-term disability. I think it's about $34, $36 per paycheck that I pay to have short-term disability. And with short-term disability, it basically covers you if you have like a surgery, you get injured on the job, what have you, and you're unable to work, it can cover you up to 12 weeks. So a lot of these procedures that people get, you know, and I want to say that people get because everybody that's trans doesn't get surgeries, doesn't have procedures. Everybody that's trans doesn't necessarily medically transition. You have a lot of trans people who don't take hormones. They don't do gender affirming hormone therapy. So there's no like one way to be a transgendered person. There's various ways that you can do this. So anyways, I pay for my own short-term disability. So I called last week to schedule an appointment with my gynecologist, OBGYN, and I ended up getting a telehealth visit today, Monday, May 23rd. So, it was a quick 18 minute visit. And basically we were discussing my health insurance, which they already have all of my, my healthcare insurance cards, all of my information. And my insurance covers it. My insurance, I'm in network with my current, gynecologist, OBGYN. And yeah, so it'll cover my procedure. My gynecologist did ask me a series of questions regarding, they wanted to make sure what my pronouns were, how I identified myself. So he, him, his, I'm a transgendered man, trans male, trans masculine person, you feel me? And then from there, they asked me, how long I have been in the transition, And so for me, July 10th of 2022 will mark 3 years since I've been taking gender affirming hormone therapy. And then they also asked me, did I still have breast tissue? Did I still have my breasts? And I informed them, no, I had a double mastectomy October 26, 2020. So a year and a half ago, going on 2 years. And then they asked when was the last time I had a pap smear or an annual, exam, etc. And they also asked, and the last time I had a pap smear for me personally was 2019. And then I've had, when I had the IUD inserted, they're going to be checking your cervix, obviously, because they're putting your IUD. So they're going to, so I had that July 21st, 2020. And yeah, so I have to schedule an annual exam. And the reason they schedule it as an annual exam is because it's seen as a preventative measure, so you won't have to pay a copay. So it's really good to know the terms and how you can get around having to pay for things out of pocket. I also will have to get a pelvic ultrasound as well as I prepare for my hysterectomy. There's the gynecologist that I go to typically does their surgeries the first or second Tuesday of the month. And they also use 2 methods that they personally use. It's basically with robotics. And it's all like micro incisions. And they also asked if I ever had any abdominal surgeries, and I have. I had my gallbladder removed June 2018, so going on 4 years ago. And it's basically kind of the same procedure. You're gonna have the same small, maybe 2 to 3 inches long incisions, and they're gonna pull, your do the hysterectomy that way. They're gonna get your ovaries and all that out through those small tubes, those small incisions, 2 to 3 inches incisions. There's also another procedure that's similar, but instead of the anywhere from 2 to 3 incisions, it's one bigger incision, but it's in your belly button. And a lot of people will opt for that one for cosmetic reasons because they don't want to have a bunch of small incisions on their stomach. So you pick and choose which ones you want. I already have small incisions on my stomach from my gallbladder removal, so I'm not tripping. However, if you get the one that does go through your stomach to do your belly button to do the histo, you are more at risk for hernias. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a hernia, but the risk for having a hernia is higher if you get that hysterectomy procedure using your belly button. So I personally am just going to do the laparoscopic one with the 3 incisions on my stomach. I already have incisions. I'm already aware and familiar with that. So that's what I'm personally going to be doing. And the procedure is literally same day. Like, you get the procedure and you go home the same day. There's no overnight stay for this. Now, people can potentially stay overnight if they have like any serious complications, obviously. But typically they have the surgery. The surgery is about 2 to 3 hours long. Once you wake up, as long as you're able to go to the bathroom and you don't have any crazy complications, or, you know what I mean, any bad complications, you're sent home right away. Like, they do recommend that you take 6 weeks to recover. 6 weeks off of work, especially if you have any like heavy lifting, crazy movements, you have to move around, bend, lift, etc. They recommend 6 weeks off, and that's also 6 weeks of no sex. So you can't do any, like, if you are a cis woman, a trans man, a trans masculine person, non-binary, and you use your front hole, you know, you use your front hole, you use your vagina, etc., then you cannot have sex using that front hole, your vagina, for at least 6 weeks. Because it's about recovering and healing. You know what I mean? Now, if you have a desk job like I do, an office type job where you don't have a lot of like heavy lifting and a bunch of movement, then you can potentially go back after 3 to 4 weeks, but they strongly recommend you take the full 6 weeks off. If you can, you know, obviously, if you can. Because I have short-term disability financially, I'm pretty much covered, you know, even when I'm not at work for those, you know, anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks, I will be covered. And plus I'm saving my own money as well, just because you never know. With short-term disability through my current employer, it only covers up to 60% of your income, which to me is shady, because, like, why not cover the entire income? I don't make 60% of my income when I'm working, so why am I only going to be getting 60% when I'm not working? Doesn't really make sense to me, but okay. Which is why I still recommend saving your own money or crowdfunding. You know, some of us have to get second jobs, third jobs, side hustles, etc. So yeah, which, again, don't get me wrong, I think we should have universal health care, and you know, we shouldn't have to do all of these hoops to pay for procedures and then have to deal with trying to live your life while you're in recovery and having money saved or set aside for that. You know, it's a lot of things that come into play when you go through all of this stuff. So you got that. So I can potentially have my procedure as early as July 12th or August 9th. I do know it, like I said, it's typically 6 weeks is what they recommend for the recovery process. Me personally, I would prefer to have my procedure in the fall, winter, because, like, if I'm gonna be taking 6 weeks off, I would prefer it to be during the winter when I don't want to be driving in the snow in the first place. You know what I mean? However, the sooner the better, because again, with the political arena that we've got going on, you kind of just need to jump on, in my opinion, if you can do it, you kind of need to just jump on stuff when it's available, because again, we have a lot of anti-trans bills and legislations being passed statewide in different states. On the state level, you know, abortion rights, etc., all these things are in the air. And you don't, you know, midterm elections are in early November, like that first Tuesday of November. So, yeah. So it's like so again, I can have it as early as July 12th or August 9th. I'm hoping it could be, if I have to get it in the summer, it'll be the August 9th one, because like I want to enjoy my summer. I don't want to just be sitting up talking about I'm in pain and it's hot out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not the time for me. You know, if I get to have a choice in the matter, I would prefer it not to be in the summer and in the fall or the winter. But if it has to be during the summer, I would rather it be August 9th. Because at least I can enjoy June and July and like the first week of August, and then like you're in recovery for the next 6 weeks. However, with the procedure kind of basically being similar to the gallbladder, when I had my gallbladder removed, I went back to work 2 weeks later. You know what I mean? Because I just went back to work. And heck, 3-4 days in to after having the surgery, I was up walking around, playing video games. So that's why I'm like, if it's anything like that, I don't think I'm going to need 6 weeks personally. But, you know, try to do what they recommend. Try to do what they suggest so you're not sick and having issues and having, you know, any discomfort. I will put information on if you're in Michigan, I will put information on the procedure and who I went to. Because again, for trans people, it's so hard finding quality, inclusive, accessible, affordable healthcare providers. So I will definitely list that information in the description box below, but I will document this. I personally never wanted children, definitely never wanted to be pregnant or give birth to any children. So this is something that I've always known. I'm going to be turning 30 this year, October 15th. I will be turning 30. So you know what I mean? I've been on gender affirming care for almost 3 years now. Had my top surgery 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago. I've had my IUD almost 2 years as well. So yeah, I just wanted to discuss that. And I will definitely be doing more videos on this matter. And I definitely want to, you know, share information and help others if I can. So, hysterectomy time as a transgendered man, trans man. And yeah, I'm gay, queer, transgender, transmasculine man. He, him, his. And yes, I do engage in sexual intercourse with cisgendered men. And because of that, it's in my best interest to, you know, get a hysterectomy, which is one of the reasons why I have a hormonal IUD and why I use condoms. Because again, it's like if you're dealing with a person who has a penis, the likelihood of them having a vasectomy is slim to none. The likelihood of them, you know, bringing their own condoms is just like, they just seem to not be aware of these things and don't care. And it's like, at the end of the day, you have to take care of your own body. You can't be expecting other people to do it for you. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And outside of sexual assault, you know, rape, molestation, you know, forceful sex, outside of that, it's up to you to take care of yourself. And so if you're having consensual sex with somebody with a penis and you end up getting pregnant, that's a risk. So that's why it's so important to use contraceptives, condoms, birth control, IUDs, hysterectomies, vasectomies, etc. To protect yourself, as well as getting tested for STDs, sexually transmitted diseases, STIs, sexually transmitted infections, on a regular basis, at least once every 3 months. So at least 4 times a year, every quarter, every season. It's so important. And this is another reason why we need universal health care. Everyone deserves access to quality, inclusive, accessible, and affordable health care, in my opinion. I think it's a human right. It's a basic human right. So anyways, this video is almost 20 minutes long, so I'm about to end it. Information is in the description box below. And yeah, I'm gonna document this entire journey and process. And who knows, I might be getting a histo in July or August. I'm out.